What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm driving the old BMW today. Gosh, this blue is looking good. Just so happens to match the logo. I've been a little bit back and forth on this car as far as what to do, whether I should keep it, how long I should keep it, but I have to say that the more and more I drive it, the more I fall in love with it. So I thought today, great opportunity. No better time than right now to do a quick little things I love about my BMW 335i video. So here we go. First of all, sunroof, moonroof, whatever you want to call it. I know. I've said before I'm not really big into sunroofs or moonroofs, and I'm not because they tend to leak. However, in this vehicle, because it's a little bit of a smaller vehicle, it makes it feel just a little bit roomier, a little bit bigger, a little bit more open and bright. So I appreciate it in this particular car. Number two, I gotta say, just the interior in general. I do like my carbon fiber wrap door trim. I do like my blue wrap, dash trim. But just the seats are super comfortable. I love the sport style seats. I like the bull string, the extra support for the legs. It's the most comfortable interior, most comfortable seats I've sat in a car. I've always been a fan of BMW interiors. They just know how to do it right. I love the body style of the E92. The coupe, the 335i coupe, is such a beautiful car. Beautiful in its simplicity, I will say. The body, there's nothing exaggerated, there's nothing overdone as far as the exterior design of this car. It just has a nicely sloping roof, an aggressive kind of, I don't want to say snout nose, but it's just kind of straight down in the front in terms of profile. Just look at this. The lines are classic. This is the style. This is a 2007. This thing is 13, 14 years old right now, and the style still looks good today. It's not outdated whatsoever. There's so many vehicles on the road now that were designed and produced 5 years ago that just don't look good anymore. This is not the case. Talking about exterior styling, one thing I've always appreciated from BMW too is the stance of the cars. There's very little wheel gap from no matter what line you're looking at. They always sit pretty well. They've always done a good job of tucking those wheels and tires up into the wheel wells, so there's not a whole lot of gap. Again, 335i coupe, no exception. Looks good. Obviously, with some suspension work, you can really get him looking nice, but I dig it. Same kind of topic along the lines of suspension. This car is so well balanced. It feels so nimble in the corners. We're talking 13-year-old suspension and cheap tires, and just getting off on off ramps or coming on hard to on ramps, hitting some of these tight corners. This thing feels so tight and nimble. It's really a joy to drive, and there's a lot to be said about a well-balanced vehicle from the factory when you really don't have to touch the suspension, and literally all you have to do is add a decent set of tires, and the car feels like an animal in the corners. That's pretty awesome. I doubt you can hear them, but factory burbles, you gotta love that. I'm not a big pops and bangs kind of guy, but knowing we got these little subtle factory burbles, gotta love it. Going back to the interior a little bit, I love the cockpit of the 335. Obviously added this little bit of carbon fiber, but if you've been watching the channel for very long, you know that I'm all about simplicity. I'm more about function over form, and this is a prime example. The gauge cluster is simple in its design, white letters, black background. It's simple, it's sleek, it looks race car-esque, and I am very appreciative of it. And again, the whole interior, as a whole in general, is relatively simple. There's not a whole lot of bells and whistles. There's not a lot going on. Obviously, in the newer 335, we got the screen and whatnot, but I really dig the simplicity of the 07. Not a lot of frills, not a whole lot of bells and whistles. It's just straight to the point, sleek and simple, and that's my style, man. Now this next one, I have a tendency to compare this to the Q50, obviously, because I'm used to driving the Q50, and that's you know, one of the main topics of this channel. But something I really like about the 335 is when you put it in sport mode, it actually feels like a sport mode. There's a clear difference between standard driving mode, not even using paddle shifters, not putting it in manual mode, just putting in sport. As you can see, DS. You can feel it. The RPM hang between gears if you're not accelerating, if you're kind of coasting. It gives you a second before it upshifts, because it's just always waiting. It's waiting for you to press the gas pedal and accelerate aggressively. I love it. The shifts are clearly more firm. The car revs higher between shifts, and it just, the throttle is touchier. I think I already said that the shifts are much more firm. You can tell that it's in sport mode, and that is an important difference and a differentiating factor between this car and the Q50. You put it in sport mode in the Q, it maybe shifts a little, well, it does shift a little quicker, but you can't really feel it. Throttle response isn't all that much better, in my opinion, and you know, you'll switch over to sport mode in the Q, and the RPM will jump a little bit just for a second, and then it settles back down as if you're in regular driving mode. So one more time, I like the sport mode of the 335 better. I already talked about factory burbles, and on top of that, the factory exhaust note really isn't that bad. People talk about the raspiness of the VQ when you really open it up, and that's true. There's no denying that. But this car doesn't really sound all that great when you open it wide open either. So that's a negative, but factory setup, it actually sounds pretty decent, and you can make it sound really good. So I'm gonna say overall exhaust note of this car is pretty decent, but I think what I love the most about this car, although in stock form, the Q50 and my tuned Q50 specifically is faster. I can tell. You know, we've done 0 to 60 pulls. We've done pulls on the highway. This car feels really torquey, and it seems effortlessly torquey, and that's what I really love about it. So it may not be, geez, garbage man. It may not be faster than the Q50, but it feels faster. And that, of course, is something that I like and appreciate. So those are just a few things that I really like about this car, and those are some of the things that I think about when I start getting the feeling that I'm ready to let it go. I sit down in it, I take it for a cruise around the block, and then I think, oh damn, I remember why I love this car. So the decision is yet to be made, which direction I go with this car, how far exactly we take it, and what exactly I want to do with it. But for right now, I'm digging it. As always, thank you guys very, very much for watching. I appreciate the continued support. We are coming up on 10,000 subscribers. Hopefully you hit that by the end of the year. And with 10,000 subscribers, there's going to be a really awesome giveaway. So I want you to subscribe right now if you haven't already, because that 10,000 points is going to come up quick, and you don't want to miss the giveaway. So stick around. Lots more to come, either for this car or the Q or this Explorer. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.